Good morning, YouTubers. Told you yesterday that I was going to do a couple videos on my little home project of replacing the glass round tabletop that I had on this table here with a square tabletop. It's a little less than 4 foot square. I'm gonna put stone inlay in it. So I tried to turn this light on, but I don't know if there's a glare there or not, but if so, I'll turn it off. But what I've got here, yesterday I was out in the shop building this. I built this out of 3/4 inch furniture grade plywood. The rails there, I use 1x3 red oak. I've actually ripped it down. It's about 2 1/8 inch wide. And what I did that I felt that was really important, because I wanted to get the rail, I didn't want it to be higher than the stone once I get the stone in the thin set, and I didn't want it a lot lower. I wanted it just even, or the rail slightly lower than the stone. So took a couple sample pieces, got an old piece of wood, put a little bit of thin set on it. I had that area about this big. Set that in there a couple days ago, let it dry, where I could get a measurement from the top of that stone down to the bottom of that board, which in this case was right around 3/8 of an inch. So what I did is I ripped through my I used my table saw and I ripped the piece. There was actually like 7/16, just a little slightly higher. And I use it as a guide. I put it on the top of the plywood as I was putting the rail on. And you know, I don't have you seen my man cave. All I've got is it's a garage, got some tools, got Traveler out there. But as far as woodworking, I've got a table saw. I've got a compound miter saw and some hand tools, you know, some electrical battery operated hand tools, but I don't have a woodworking shop set up. That's my ultimate goal, but that's probably gonna have to be once I retire. But anyway, I mentioned that because I had a hell of a time trying to get this going here. You know, trying to start these pieces were the actual plywood was cut at 3'10" 3/4 inch square. So trying to hold these rails up and have a little cut piece on a corner so I can get the corners right, and trying to get the screws going. You can't do it with one person unless you got clamps and all that. And I've got some clamps, but I don't have clamps that are 4 foot long. So guess what? I did like most guys did. I hollered at my wife, told her to come out here and help me. So she usually don't like to help me on my little projects because she says I get too pissed off on things, but I was somewhat calm once I got things going. There was one corner that didn't really turn out good for me. I've got OCD, but a little bit of wood filler, everything went okay. But I drilled and countersunk hose. I've actually got 5 screws in each panel. Countersunk them about, I don't know, less than a quarter. They all kind of bury. And then I just use wood filler to fill in gaps and sand it down real good, and took my time and then stained. But I want to show you what I tried to do here on the bottom. bottom. I don't know if you can get a good look of the stain. I use Minwax ebony. The base is a dark ebony. You can see our our cabinets and all that is an ebony. So the stain I use, so far I've used 3 coats on this. It looks good, I like it. It just doesn't, it's not as dark as the bottom. And I don't know if that really matters. I think it looks kind of cool the way it is. I think once we get I get the stone in and I get the grout, I want to put a dark charcoal grout, and the stone that I've got is, I showed you in an earlier video, and I'll go out here in a little bit and show you the stone I've got out in the garage, but it's lighter, so I think it's going to be a good offset. But underneath here, you see I had the challenge there, trying to get this square tabletop on 3 legs. So I've got the obvious concern, and that's the tabletop flexing. What I did here, let me get around where you can see it. I actually used, kind of hard to see it there, I've got them taped over, but they're actually brass slide bolt locks, kind of like what you use on the old doors. And I drilled holes into the legs where I could actually slide and lock this, so the grandkids, whenever they get rough and rowdy, they don't flip this over. I mean, it's fairly heavy, and when I get the stone inlaid, it's going to be a lot better. It's going to be a little heavier, and I think it'd be more stable. But you see right here, this is the end that's got the 2 on one end here, so you know it's pretty good. The problem is, or my concern, may not be a problem. I don't know if you can see this here, but this flexes a little bit here because I've only got the 1 leg there. So we'll see how this turns out, but I think I'll be all right. So my plans are, is I'm going to, I wanted to at least show you where I'm at right here. I do have pictures of what the table looked like with the glass on it, but I'm sure you can imagine. I'll try to just post a picture on this link here, or link it. But I'm gonna call this part 1, I guess, and then what I'm gonna do, what my goal is today is, this morning I'm gonna lay out my grid line and start playing with how I'm gonna set the tile in, get it all marked up, do the thin set, and get the tile set today. So that will be our part 2, and then tomorrow when I get off work and I do the grout, I'll do part 3, I guess, and we'll see how it all turns out. Hopefully good. So anyway, another cool morning in South Texas. A little windy, breezy outside. It's a Sunday, so y'all have a good one. I got plenty of work to do here today, so this is Redneck Piper saying have a good one.